Good morning. We're going to find ourselves in Proverbs 10, picking up at verse 21 through 30. The lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for lack of sense. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. A fool finds pleasure in wicked schemes, but a person of understanding delights in wisdom. What the wicked dread will overtake them, what the righteous desire will be granted. When the storm is swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so are sluggards to those who send them. The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The prospect of the righteous is joy, but the hopes of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a refuge for the blameless, but it is the ruin of those who do evil. The righteous will never be uprooted, but the wicked will not remain in the land. The thing I love about this passage is really contrasting the life of a fool versus the life of the wise. Or you could say it's contrasting the life of a righteous versus the wicked. Now, understanding that if you accepted Jesus as your Savior, you've been made righteous. 1 Peter 3:18 says, "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous." He was righteous. He made us. He took us from unrighteousness to righteous. And so the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. And so understanding, and if you've accepted Jesus as your Savior and you've been made righteous, well, would be walking in a life of wisdom, and we need to be seeking wisdom. And so there's 4 points I want to bring out in this. One is that verse 21 tells us we're called to make a difference to others. It says the lips of the righteous nourish many. So righteousness is about relationships, right? It's about bringing blessings to others. So my challenge to you today is, who could you nourish today? Who could you feed, guide, and encourage with your words today? There's someone who needs to hear from you. Point 2, delight in wisdom, right? There is this delight for wisdom that says, it said, those who have insight delight in wisdom. And it's a crazy thing that we have insight. We know the enemy, what his outcome is. We know the end of the story for him. We know what eternity looks like for us. And so a relationship with God stirs a hunger for knowledge and wisdom. Knowing how it ends, we should be excited. And, Lord, what do you have for me today? What do you have for me today, Lord? And so we delight in wisdom. Point 3, desires fulfilled. It said, what the righteous desire will be granted, right? And I think sometimes that's a really hard one, because it's like, well, my desires maybe are earthly or worldly. And God's desire for us is that our will begins to align with his will and for what he has for us today on earth, right now, what we're called to do as we're going along. And then as our will begins to align with his will, willfully, not that we begrudgingly say, okay, whatever you want to do, but we say, Lord, I want what you want. That insight begins to come to us, and then he begins to meet the desires of our heart. Point 4 is this, destiny of joy. I think that you need to understand that joy is something that, well, actually the verse said this, the prospect of the righteous is joy. So right relationships are a great joy. If we're a right relationship to someone, we bring great joy to them. And if we have people that are the right relationship for us, they bring great joy to us. Our joy, our joy's already been made complete in a relationship with Jesus, because your destiny is eternal joy, right? John 15:11 tells us that. And that because we have an eternal joy that's already been put in the works and is in the plans, right now, what we do is we work on our relationships today, and that we bring joy to others, and that we are with people who bring joy to us. So, you're called to make difference to others, delight in wisdom, your desires will be fulfilled, and you have a destiny of joy. Here's your prayer for today. Lord, I pray for wisdom today, and that you would put a guard over my lips so that my words may be used to feed and guide others. Be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.